This episode of Capes and Lunatic Sidekicks is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. To get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
Alright, it's that time. We've been threatening you with it. And like we said, it's going to come early this month. The review of the latest Spider-Man movie, Far From Home. As always, it's me, Phil. It's clone lover, Lil Hellfire.
Hey, y'all. I'm here.
And, of course, this time we got our friend. It's Charlie Esser.
The Professor here in Jersey. Hello.
And rounding out our Fantastic Four, it's Mr. Tyler Patrick.
Hey, guys.
Alright, like we said, since this is the brand new one, unlike every other month, Will Hellfire and I have been giving you the Spider-Man movie reviews at the end of the month. This one came out at the beginning, so here we go. Spoilers ahead.
Like so many spoilers.
Spoilers, yeah. You know what I was thinking? I mean, this is more a spoiler for Endgame, but which everyone should have seen by now, but the first Iron Man was just on TV. Everything up to now should have been just phase one, because, I mean, even those movies he wasn't in, it was such a Tony Stark-centric world.
Yeah.
Well,
so phase one could have been the Tony Stark phase. Phase two should be whoever they build.
Captain Marvel phase, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Peter or Carol or whoever.
But that all goes to, like, they didn't know if they would what happened after the Avengers. There's been some great articles written on Collider called How the MCU Was Built, and so far they're up to just Avengers Age of Ultron. And they talk about, you know, the behind the scenes and everything that went into each movie and the different deals and productions and stuff. So it just kind of gives you an idea of where things were, how it was moving, and, you know, what helped make everything come to fruition, because, you know, there's a lot of contracts and stuff that ended at Avengers. They didn't know where to go from there. And I mean, even then, like, you know, you said Tony, but at the same time, Captain America, like, helped drive the plot of the entire MCU.
Yeah.
And well, but, you know, one thing, I mean, it is a Tony-centric world. And I think that is, I mean, this is a world without a Reed Richards. But it is with a Tony Stark who does share his technology, though clearly not as much as others would like him to.
Yeah, or the credit.
You know. It's a world of holographic displays and, you know, miniature arc reactors to power things. And, you know, although it is the world outside our window, because obviously you don't want to you don't want to give everyone an arc reactor in their car, because, you know, those things get into accidents. I have to imagine that the influence that man has had on this world.
Yeah.
Is insurmountable. You look at this scene when Spidey gets to make his own suit, and he's working with these displays, and they're, you know, I have to feel that these are displays that people know about. The 3D printers that they use to make the Vision, these are things people know about. These aren't just hidden in government labs somewhere. These are real things, all trademark Stark Technologies.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think, you know, there's probably, you know, a bunch of Stark nanotech or whatever in there, you know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, look, he works. Here's the thing.
It's a Fury-centric world.
It's a Fury-centric world?
Damn straight.
Which one?
The whole MCU?
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Which one?
It doesn't matter. Pick your poison. It doesn't matter.
Well, obviously, Fury is sort of behind the scenes trying to drive the world forward towards something.
It was actually just a joke because, you know, this is the first time that, like, an actor's been in 3 movies, MCU movies in 1 year. Sam Jackson has been, so kind of stepped on my lunch time, but it's okay.
Well, you know what? He does tie it all together. Or maybe he doesn't, because it might have been Talos the whole time.
We'll never know.
Well, not in Captain Marvel, because we saw them both in the same room, but on Captain Marvel.
And it wouldn't have been Telos in Infinity War, because he wouldn't have called for Captain Marvel.
That's what Charlie and I were talking about, but it's like real. Maybe.
Well, no, because Talos is aligned with Captain Marvel.
Yeah, but the whole
The
point
real
was
question is would Nick Fury give Talos access to it to be Nick Fury? And that I think is unlikely at the end of the day.
I'm just going to make it simple because I just feel like it's one of those things that after Endgame and everything, Fury went to work on something else. When Captain Marvel came back, they got talking, and then Fury went to work on something which I predict is some form of sword, is what it'll be, and then Telos just stayed on Earth as him.
Well,
because I'm not going to overthink it because you got to think when they got these characters and all this stuff and when stuff started happening.
That makes sense because remember the first Avengers, they're like, oh yeah, we're experimenting with this alien tech because we had to have Guardians coming to Earth and all this, and every time there's a bigger threat, they keep trying to step up their game. So maybe after the whole Thanos snap, we need some kind of universal.
Yeah, and watching this movie, you can tell there's subtleties in Sam Jackson's performance that just make it seem like, oh, Fury's a little off his game.
Oh yeah, and the big clue I was telling Charlie is when he was introducing Peter to Quentin Beck, he goes, yeah, he's from Earth, just not your Earth. They changed it from the trailer. Remember in the trailer, I think he's from our Earth. He said to Peter, he's from your Earth.
Yes, well, that's because this is befitting a film about Mysterio. Marvel has been misdirecting everyone, even the toy company. And that, I think, is the most brilliant thing they did. Where they intentionally had the toy companies release things with what should have been spoilers, but they weren't, because it's like, no, we just told them what to call that guy. We said, call it Hydro Man, call it Molten Man.
Oh, they even threw in that red herring in the Hydro Man red herring, too. Lil, did you catch that when they were talking about Morris Bench, the sailor got exposed or whatever, and so you're supposed to think, okay, the water elemental's Hydro Man, but no,
not at all.
I never thought it. Just the fact they had Mysterio in it. Period. I was like, oh, that's cool to use the elementals as his whole idea he's got going on. Yeah. I do want to say this, that it is interesting that if you look at Tony Stark, every villain except Thanos really is created by Tony. He creates his villains. And then in essence, Spider-Man has to pick up his slack. And in both Spider-Man movies, both villains are somehow created by Tony Stark.
Yeah, but he didn't create no Loki.
Yeah, he didn't create
No, that's
Loki.
what I'm saying, but I'm just thinking about that. But that wasn't just Iron Man. But
he didn't create Stein. He definitely didn't create Hydra.
No, but look.
Maybe Howard did.
Stain comes from the Stark legacy. Whiplash comes from the Stark legacy. The villains of Iron Man 3
but in both those cases, Tony. It's Howard Stark, not Tony Stark. It's the sins of the father being revisited on the son.
Exactly, and that's what happens to Peter. Vulture spins out of damage control, which is from Stark trying to clean up his own mess, creates a villain, and then Mysterio, for Stark, stealing his tech and pissing people off, is created, and then Peter now is cleaning up Tony's mess.
I like the spin though that they made Quentin Beck an employee of Stark's, and he was actually the one who invented that holographic tech from the beginning of Civil War. He wasn't just disgruntled Steven Spielberg or James Cameron.
Yeah, exactly. And I like the callback to the scientist that Obadiah yelled at.
From Iron Man 1, yeah.
That's one of my favorite lines in Iron Man 1.
Although, can we just take a moment and
what?
And say that William is bad at his job? I mean, what? I guess that's why you couldn't create an arc reactor, because you're just like, I don't know, I forgot it, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. This guy is so lackadaisical in his job as a supervillain.
I just left the murder weapon at the murder scene. What's the big deal?
Yeah, but that's he does it twice too. It's like, I don't know, man. That guy just, honestly, I think he's probably really good at making drones. I think that for strategic planning, he's not very good, and that is his downfall.
Dad, have you seen my Spider-Man mask?
I haven't seen your Spider-Man mask.
I'm gonna join. I'm gonna join when I find it.
But
okay, go find it then. It's probably in your toy box.
I think you had the point about the Tinkerer in Spider-Man Homecoming, and now this guy in Far From Home. But it's like I know we kind of got like a better version of AIM in Iron Man 3. But what if these guys like form like an actual AIM? With the beekeeper outfits and everything.
Oh well. I mean that is a thing. It's like both the Tinkerer and William are both the escapees of this.
Yes,
and I could totally see them hooking up at some point.
Hi, Dad.
And if you have the basic, and this is actually if Hydra is still out there, which of course you always have to assume it is, because if Shield is still out there, Hydra has to still be out there.
cut off one head.
You can't destroy either because it's two groups that believe in some kind of an ideal.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that you can say about that's actually one of the things when I'm trying to sort of headcanon agents into this universe, it's like the reason Nick Fury can't go to Mac is because Mac does not trust aliens, does not like aliens, does not want to work with aliens. And it's like, and I can see Mac saying to Nick Fury, "You've been gone for 5 years. You know what? Sit down, old man. I'm running the show."
Yeah, because he was even complaining about not having a team. Yeah.
Yeah, well, because I'm sure when he comes back 5 years later and he walks into the lighthouse, and Mac's saying, "Oh, hello, Fury.
Well, but
I'm Director Mac."
Well, but again, it was like the real Fury was in space. Maybe he didn't want Talos to be close to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because they might be able to figure out that he's not the real Fury.
Well, yeah, that's true too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've been working real hard, and actually, what I've realized is it's not that hard to headcanon Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. into a post-snap world. They're just not talking about the snap because it's still too painful.
And they're still a couple years behind too.
Exactly. They're they're only 1 year ahead. So whereas the MCU is now 5 years ahead. Which makes you wonder if they're ever going to catch up with the MCU now. Because they have 2 more seasons. So, they just some weird stuff that could be happening with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But anyway, back to this story. Yeah.
We're going to MCU for Lilith.
Yeah, it's okay. Lilith, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Lilith, what was your favorite part of the movie?
Jake Gyllenhaal proving me wrong. He was an okay Mysterio.
I thought he did pretty good.
Yeah, I like both versions of him. And I said as in the hero-esque that everyone kind of likes, big mentor-ish character, and then when he makes the turn to the real douchebag.
I mean, you got to be like a Hollywood pretty boy type to pull that off, to make everyone like, "Oh, I'm the big hero," and then it's like, no, actually, no, I'm going to be the next Tony Stark, faking it.
One of the things I got to say is I love that was it Gottlieb was a part of his team, that he has the scriptwriter there.
Yes.
But you know what? That's important because he follows the rule. He follows the rule of 3, where he must deny it 3 times before he accepts the glasses.
But that's
all very.
Oh, sorry. But yeah, no, that just screamed Mysterio from the comics to me. Just that whole scene in the hideout where they're writing the whole thing, and it's like no, turn it up 50%. Yeah, more destruction. Yes. We need to rewrite that. Yeah. That's so Mysterio.
He doesn't like the choreography, but you know what? Sometimes you have to go with what you got.
You do know my least favorite part of the movie, though, right?
What?
They brought in something from the comic that I currently hate about Aunt May and her homeless situation. I was just like,
oh yeah, working with the homeless and stuff.
Yeah, I was just like, I see what you did and I hate it. I hate it so much.
I heard you screaming in the beginning of that movie, like, no, not the Feast Center.
You know what my favorite scene was?
It was actually Salvation Army.
Which we should not donate to. They are monsters. Salvation Army are bad people. Sorry.
I hear good and bad. I don't know.
Wow.
Tristan would like to give his review of the film. Can he give his review real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. Come here, Tristan. Hop on up. Okay. Give your review.
So, when I saw the movie, I actually really liked it. And near the end of the movie, I was actually thinking, are they actually gonna make Mysterio good? But another part of me was thinking, they're probably gonna make him bad. And there are these theories I've heard that they were all illusions, and apparently some of those theories were right. And all of that crazy stuff. And apparently, a fun fact: for James Jonas Jameson, or however you call his name, the actor was the same actor who played in the Tobey Maguire movie.
Yes, J.K. Simmons. Yes.
He
Very
took my
good,
favorite
Tristan.
part.
Thank you.
Look, here's my current children right now. They both took their masks off. My children are both in Spider-Man costumes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
Like, honestly, the only reason I have kids, and that's not a good enough reason for me.
No,
But
it's not
it's
good
cute.
enough.
It's cute.
They literally can live in their
I
costumes.
can dress my dogs up. I can be the weird lady that
Yes,
dresses her dogs up.
they have Spider-Man costumes for dogs now. It's wonderful.
You need to
Because they realize there's a whole group of pet parents that they are not
You need to get
getting money from.
You need to get a pink though.
I'll tell you, okay, so my favorite scene is so small, but like it gave me goosebumps, was at the end, just where Spider-Man is finally in New York City. Like downtown, web slinging, bouncing off the buildings. To me, like that was Spider-Man. And
Yes.
as Phil knows, like if I had to pick Marvel, my favorite Marvel character is Spider-Man.
I wonder why. Red and blue.
Red and blue.
And that's what Lilith said to me the other night. But no, so like it's always been that character, and I think like if you look at it, and this is just kind of me talking, it's kind of like Stan Lee, maybe not, but like someone's like, hey, what if we mix Superman and Jimmy Olsen to a character? Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what you get with like Peter Parker.
Actually, was it more like Robin, though? They were like... I forget what it was.
But I'm just saying, like, it's just, that's the kind of the vibe I get, from a young, like, early Peter stuff.
Well, yeah, wasn't that the story where he was like, hey, what if we made, this sidekick the hero,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, yeah, you're kind of on the right track there.
Okay, I just want to say that my daughter just put on Solomon's shoes, and they're his Spider-Man tennis shoes. So she just wants to make sure that everyone knows that she is Spider-Girl.
Go, Gwen!
That's right.
So
I'm sorry, Lilith, you mispronounced May.
So yeah, that is how my children roll. That is how they roll.
But but Lilith, who was the first person to have a teenage person be the superhero?
It was Spider-Man, wasn't it?
No, Lilith, who is the person had another hit movie this year?
Shazam.
Was it?
Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
Shazam?
that's the first time you had a young boy become the superhero.
Yeah. I mean that makes sense, but I was thinking it more in the sense of like, he is still a young boy technically, but he's in the man body. But I was thinking like just all around, always, kid.
Yeah. Well, they played with that a lot in the 40s with Shazam, whether or not it was two separate people or it's just Billy in a big body. But certainly now our idea of Shazam is definitely little boy in a big body, which is, disturbing in its own right.
But I mean, we kind of went over it real quick. But yeah, I mean, J.K. Simmons returns as Jameson, like an older Jameson.
Oh, I love that. You know what I love best about that? They let him be bald.
Yes.
Which reminds me of Jameson
in
MC2.
Yeah, they changed his look.
Yeah, wasn't he naturally like bald or whatever? So they probably just said,
Yeah.
Wear a wig.
Yeah, that was a wig in the first one. Yeah, he's been bald since he was Skoda in Law and Order. So
Mm-hmm.
Wait, don't you mean wasn't he bald and what's
Oz
the previous show?
Yeah, he was as Schillinger. He was bald, but he was Skoda first. So first he's Skoda, then he's Schillinger, then he's J. Jonah Jameson, where they put the little flat top on him, And then he, became the drummer in that Oscar film. And he's also the yellow peanut M&M.
Really?
Yes, he is. J.K. Simmons. Man does not turn down a job. They're paying money. Thank you very much.
All right.
How do you feel about the elementals, though? I thought that was kind of...
The what?
Like the elementals in the story. I was just like, did we really need that?
Well, he wanted an Avengers-level threat.
Yeah, and I am waiting for the pitch meeting of this on Screen Rant because someone's going to point out, like, so they're all... Oh, yeah. And like, well, with the water ones, didn't people notice that things weren't wet after the water elemental went through?
Yeah, but that's all part of the illusion. And using
water, that's not going to leave any water behind.
Yeah, but if it's living water, does it take every ounce of moisture with it when it leaves?
Well, I mean,
that will be the argument. I don't know.
That's why. I mean, they showed the drones. Like they had drones before. He just got more massive.
I just
had them doing stuff.
I just wonder if it's like the water elemental, like if he can suck up some water from the river and they can shoot them out. Or if it's fire, they have flamethrowers attached to them or something.
Yeah, well, they do have. They definitely have the explosions and the detonation. When they show without the hologram, just the weapons there, you see they do have lightning bolts and things like that. So you can make some certain arguments, but I did feel that it's like if this is all supposed to be a hologram, it's not going to have some of this stuff isn't going to have the pieces behind, which is why this is what it said. Talos may not have had any suspicions, but I think Nick Fury did.
Yeah.
And I think, and again, that's why I think Nick Fury put Spider-Man in here, because he knows about what? The Peter Tingle.
Oh,
jeez.
He knows about the Peter Tingle.
Don't call it that.
Phrasing.
It's the Peter Tingle, now and forever.
Please don't say that. It makes me feel
Where's my phrasing button?
Speaking of the Peter Tingle, is so I guess Happy's with Aunt May now?
Yeah, I mean that's
I would like to be with Aunt May, but Aunt May, she obviously not for nothing. It's Marissa Tomei, and she had a fling with Jon Favreau, and Jon Favreau is like, yes, Marissa Tomei, and Marissa's like.
And she didn't age.
Where it goes.
And she didn't age because she disappeared in the blip.
Yes, but
Happy. George Costanza on the phone.
Well, I think they did that. So now it's like, Happy's 5 years older.
So now he's on her.
So that's why they're now similar ages.
Mm-hmm.
Which I actually thought they were similar ages before.
Yeah.
And someone pointed out online recently, Marissa Tomei is 50. Quit saying, why are they making Aunt May so young? It's like...
Well, she's young compared to, 90-year-old Aunt May that we're used to.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, she was probably only 50 then. She just didn't dye her hair.
No, she was definitely supposed to be a lot older.
I mean, Amazing Fan.
They always make Aunt May really, really old. Like
almost decrepit old. It's ridiculous.
I mean, from the beginning, I can't tell her because her heart's so old and fragile. She can have a heart attack if I tell her.
I mean, since Far From Home came out, Solomon and I have been rewatching every Spider-Man movie in order. And and you pick up different stuff, and I was just talking with Jania about, the Aunt May from the first trilogy, she's not bad. She feels like the comics, but she's just so old. And then they try to change it up a little bit with Sally Field, and then even though Marissa Tomei is 50, they she's still younger and looks younger, feels younger. Well, it's interesting.
They were trying to get that Aunt May spinoff though, so they were just like, okay, we can't go so old. So we gotta have this as a backup.
To be fair, it is much more common for someone to have an aunt in their 50s when you're a teenager than to have an aunt. So when this was first made, there was this huge age gap between Benjamin Parker and what's Peter's actual dad's name?
Richard
Parker. There's meant to be this big age gap, which is not uncommon when you have, no birth control. And, because she had no way to know. And you also had higher child mortality rates and yada, yada, yada. Really? Anyway, so having that elderly aunt was not an uncommon idea for a teenager. Fast forward to 2018, 2017, 2016, it's a much less common trope. So when you say, well, he has an older aunt, well, he's probably
it could be his
about the
great
same
aunt
age
for
as
all
his
we
character.
know. For purposes, if they wanted to keep her elderly.
Grandma.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, how many times do you say, like, I know, like, in my family, we'll say, like, uncle this or aunt this, but we don't ever add the great aunt, great uncle part.
Yeah, because she's not even an aunt by blood, she's an aunt by marriage, yeah.
Which I think makes the dynamic of the story that much stronger.
Yes.
Of their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Of just, she's always loved Peter, and it is her nephew by marriage, and, even though
Crazy.
Ben is gone, she's still...
Well,
Daenerys Targaryen, is that you?
I mean, you're trying to say it's her nephew by marriage, but as far as we know, Pete was really young when his parents died.
Oh yeah, most of the versions of it, yeah, he's usually
like no real memories of his parents. His entire memories were Ben and May Parker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And hey, we got Uncle Ben's shout out in this.
Well, kind of.
His initials
on the luggage.
The initials on the luggage.
His initials. That was Uncle Ben's luggage, man.
Every other
lost forever, but still.
Everything else was Big Daddy Stark.
Yeah. Well,
you should have just told Mysterio he thought of him as a father. We could have just ended this.
I mean,
I love that meme.
I mean, he kind of did. He's kind of like, here, I'm too young to handle this killer satellite with all these killer drones. You take it. You take the power to instantly murder anyone on the face of the planet. Here, guy I just met one day ago. Here, have the power to murder anyone on the face of the earth.
Yeah.
He's a teenager. He's a teenager, but he's also trusting. Like, it's that last moment of trusting your adult, your mentor, and making Peter come into his own. Like, he was coming up. He had Tony. Tony's gone. He's kind of had, like, Fury's, like, but he's like, I really don't know Fury. He meets this guy that he can look at as, like, the new mentor, the new, you can be what, I don't want to be. I don't want to be the new Tony. I don't want to be this. You can take it. And then it's him having to realize,
oh, yeah.
I have to do this.
I mean, especially when they're sitting there in the bar talking right before he gives them the glasses. I mean, you see Beck put the glasses on and try to, like, strike a Tony Stark pose when he's wearing them,
Oh, yeah.
Manipulator. That's what you get when you're a failed actor, just saying.
Oh.
Present company excluded, of course.
Are you talking about the character, or are you talking about
Jake
Jake
Gyllenhaal?
No, I would never say, like, I like Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal could get it.
Oh, no. He's, in person, he's kind of, like, very awkward and off-putting. Like, he means well. Like, I've met him a couple of times, but, like, no, he can't get it in person. In film, maybe, but not in person. His sister, on the other hand, maybe. Put her down as a maybe.
Whoa.
But if you think about it, so here's a great little comparison for you. Uncle Ben, who we have never met, but here's what I'll say. Everyone say, they're trashing the legacy of Uncle Ben. And it's like, no, they're not. Peter is Peter because of Uncle Ben. That he doesn't talk about it every minute to the audience shouldn't take away from everything Uncle Ben gave him. Mm-hmm. Essentially, if you think it's trashing the legacy of Uncle Ben, you have no respect for the legacy of Uncle Ben.
My headcanon is trashing Uncle Ben. He's Mephisto. I'm telling you.
We know that, Lilith. We know that, Lilith. We know that was Mephisto's first step in his plan to control the web of light. We know that.
Now, if they would just make it canon, I will shut up about it.
To May Riley.
All right. Okay. Okay. Here's a Marvel Comics question. All right. So Ned got with Betty Brant this movie. Does that confirm he's Ned Leeds?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's always been Ned Leeds.
So he's going to become
he looks like Ned, but he is Ned Leeds.
So he's going to become a reporter, and he's going to be
he's going to be a blogger because newspapers aren't a thing anymore.
And a brainwash too for the Hobgoblin when we finally bring him in.
Yes.
All right. See what happens. They don't have to do everything they did in the books.
Yes, they do.
I want to say something. Okay. I'm talking about Uncle Ben and all this. Okay. I'm going to jump in from the behind the scenes guy. Okay. So I was reading different things like I always do. I guess Marvel's deal with Sony only counted for 5 pictures for Spider-Man, but Tom Holland is signed on for 6. So that means that as of right now, they could do a third Spider-Man film that doesn't include all of the Marvel-ness of the MCU, because then it would be just a Sony production. So with that in mind, could that be a type of story and film then that focuses back on Uncle Ben, because they can't harken back to Tony Stark?
Well, I just wonder, too, if a part of the deal, I don't know why they would do this, but if part of the deal was they can't mention Uncle Ben, or...
They're trying to screw him over. Like, we know the fans will riot if they don't mention Uncle Ben.
No.
I think a lot of it... What I feel like a lot of it has to do with is they're like, Marvel approaches it as, they've already gotten 2 film series where they focus all their attention on this.
Yeah.
Let's reinvigorate. And I mean, that's kind of what they've done with Spider-Man, with kind of his origin, non-origin film, you know, including the Tony Stark storyline, trying to move away from the classic Mary Jane and Gwen Stacy and ditching the Osborns.
Well, let's be fair. The live-action Osborns have not fared well.
You take that back. I love my Franco.
Oh my lord! Spider-Man 3 was on today on TV, and Luca wanted to watch it. Oh my lord, Lilith! I know we covered this already, but that is such a running joke. You know how many times Harry Osborn gets hit in the head in that movie? I lost track.
Do you know? Yeah. Wait, hold on. That my son loves all the Spider-Man movies and will watch anything with Spider-Man. And that when we finished Spider-Man 2, and he's like, "Daddy, what's next?" I said, "Spider-Man 3." He's like, "That's the one with Venom." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Can we just skip it and go to Spider-Man 4? Which to him, Spider-Man 4 is the Amazing Spider-Man. You know, that's
Kristen's
just because
favorite Venom is
Topher Grace.
Well, I mean, that's not a huge jump in logic, considering that.
What's your
I'll just say this: I recently watched the Venom movie again because Jania had never seen it, and we were just like, "Oh, it's on Stars, we'll watch it, whatever." And watching it a second time, I was like, "God, this is bad."
Oh, I keep seeing it in the store. I'm like, do I want to break down and buy it? I'm like, nah.
It's $5, son.
No, I haven't seen it for $5.
When it's $5 or something, sure.
Yeah, maybe $5. But if they still want like $15 for it, I'm like, nah, it's okay.
You know, or it comes, some collection. But I mean, just watching it the first time, I was like, oh, okay, it wasn't great, but enjoyed
it was a pure Sony product. So it's just like we were all breakers. Oh, it didn't totally poop the bed. Okay, it's a win, Sony. And then Into the Spider-Verse comes out, and everybody's like, you could have done so much better.
Yeah, I mean,
well, they did so much
all I'm saying is, the fact that right now Marvel is basically making these movies kind of with/for Sony, like, hey, we're gonna do something great with your Spider-Man. We're gonna change the status quo. First one, big jump with Aunt May finding out. I know that happens later in the comics, but that's not something that most audience members who know Spider-Man through film are gonna know. So to them, it's like, wow, that's different. You've changed something in the story. And then with the end of this film, with the outing Spider-Man completely, you've changed the status quo again into a new area. By also taking him on this European trip, you've changed things, and that's what these Marvel Spider-Man films have done, because they're like, we need to change and make it fresh. And we need to put our brand, our style on it, and move away from what Sony has done now twice.
Oh, the minute he got outed at the end there to the whole world, I was just thinking, paging Mephisto. Mephisto.
Yeah, literally, I was like, one more day.
Or is this his Tony Stark moment?
Well, I think he would crumble under that pressure.
Here's what I'll say. There's 2 ways you can take it. One is, after the return done, you can bring in, you can do the, what? I'm Peter Parker, but here is Spider-Man, and it's Daredevil in a suit.
Or
it's Ben Riley.
Or it's a scroll. Come on, people. They just brought back
Oh, yeah.
Fury.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think or he has control of those drones and all those holographic technologies.
I mean, I think it makes for a very interesting movie of Peter having to basically point out and play that I'm not Spider-Man. Like, he has to try to convince everyone he's not. or does he just fess up to it and say, yeah? Because, I mean, that's one thing about the MCU. If you think about it, movie-wise, we're not getting into TV, but, like, the heroes live openly. That's been discussed. Like, everyone knows Steve Rogers, Captain America, Iron Man. You know who he is. Most all these heroes don't have secret identities. Okay? But then Spider-Man, he does. He does. And now they're taking him into that MCU where he, like the others, does now not have a secret identity.
They're just doing it for one movie, just so, they're going to open up in the next movie and, like, Ned using it to, like, date supermodels. Yeah, I'm Spider-Man's friend. Yeah.
Well, you know what it is apparently what I was reading, they wanted to have him outed by the end of it. That was, like, a selling point. That they knew they wanted to have him outed eventually. And so this is where we're at. Now, are they going to put the genie back in the bottle? Are they going to have him embrace it and just move into Avengers Tower or Avengers whatever? Not for nothing. It's in Fury's best interest for everyone to know Peter is Spider-Man just to have that control over him. Now, here's the interesting thing. Here's one thing I'm going to say right now. I think the end credit scene is actually paving the way for Secret Invasion.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Oh, do you want to say this real quick? Real quick. I think let's just say Marvel's MCU Secret Invasion. Let's not use that term too much because we all know how there's the comic book Age of Ultron, there's the movie. There's the Infinity War. They use terms that were Civil War. That we're familiar with.
Yeah, and we want to switch it up because who was the big architect behind Secret Invasion in the comics?
Bendis.
But I'm just saying, like, just think about, like, it would be this version of a Secret Invasion type of comic. It would not be like the comics. It would be like they're using the name to gain publicity. Just like the Civil War that we experienced with in the MCU is not the exact same Civil War that we experienced in the comics. And yes, I have read it, okay, guys? All right. I do read some Marvel every now and then, okay?
The big stuff.
Okay. Just because while I'm waiting for the end credits, I actually read all the end credits.
They credited Bendis. Why the hell did they credit Bendis?
Because it's Secret Invasion!
I heard that some of the writers, I didn't pick it up, but I heard that some of the writers are actually referencing some of the street signs while they're in Europe. And stuff like that. I mean, I think they could do maybe a Secret Invasion. I think, Captain Marvel 2 is going to focus maybe on the Skrull and Kree War. Maybe we'll find out that there are some Skrulls that were actually bad, that were, this or whatever. That's a whole new world to open up that they're in. So,
okay, but just to make a point, aliens are good and bad. There aren't good Skrulls and bad Skrulls, just like there aren't good Germans and bad Germans. There are Nazis and Hydra, and
they're bad.
Collateral damage.
Right. I say that because the default thought of the Skrulls is of them as the villains. I had a couple of friends who were really big Marvel heads that the twist in Captain Marvel with the Skrulls, they're like, were very caught off guard because, the Skrulls are always this villainous race.
They could even be they could even be playing the long con because, right now there's a Fury Skrull running around out there.
Well,
yeah, that would be pretty dang intense. But
there is a line in
secrets
when Fury and Maria, actually Talos and his wife, are walking somewhere, and he says, and he's complaining his Fury, but he says, I thought Kree sleeper cells were top secret. How does everyone know about Kree sleeper cells?
Yes.
Which could suggest that the Secret Invasion is actually the Kree.
I like it. I like it.
Did you see where Fury was spending his vacation?
Do you mean on the ship or like where the beach was supposed to be?
I'm just saying, did that look like Tahiti to
I was
anyone?
gonna say, was
Oh yeah,
Wait.
even I got that a little
it like
bit.
a magical place?
So
Maybe he's not.
just maybe. Fury's there, but he's also kind of not there because he's in Tahiti, and they're like manipulating him to say, "You're on vacation." He's going to do that Australian accent.
Scrolls.
I'm not good at it.
Yeah, I know.
You're on vacation, sir. Why don't you just tell me what to do?
I might.
Oh, well, go get
Ray
that.
is losing his mind right now.
Oh, he loves it.
I'm just saying. Although there's another aspect of it, which is when Fury had his own space station with an army of doppelgangers. That was after he had given the Infinity Formula to Bucky.
Oh, yeah.
And so he held up in his own little lighthouse out in space and was just sending Nick Fury LMDs.
That's what I was wondering if it was happening. If Fury's in space because he's the man on the wall or whatever.
Well, I think they're going to be touching on that.
Yeah.
I think they're basically suggesting that the rest of the MCU is going to be not as much on Earth.
Yes.
That we're going to focus a bit more on the cosmic. Because what do we got next? We got Thor, which is cosmic. We got Guardians 3, which is cosmic.
We have nothing.
Well, we'll have more
We have
after
nothing. since Black Widow.
I guarantee
There's
you.
tons of stuff. They just aren't mentioning
I
it yet.
guarantee.
Right, exactly. They have not officially announced anything.
They said
It's all hearsay.
They said
Hearsay.
they said they weren't going to announce anything till after Far From Home. But what's coming up in like another 2 weeks? Comic-Con.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know. That's why I'm just picking. That's why I'm just picking. Because we know what they talked about. And supposedly,
And
the Black Widow film is actually filming right now.
Yes, Comic-Con's coming in like 2 weeks, and gentlemen, we will have an on-the-spot reporter there. Isn't that?
Oh, who will that be?
Isn't that so, Miss Lilith Hellfire?
I won't have time to be reporting. I'll be in.
She's like, I want to talk about Marvel news, but
no, it's a lot of workshops and seminars and networking. I'm not really like. The only thing I'm really there for is probably going to be like the Supernatural, Hall H, Farewell, and because all the stuff that I care about is not actually going to be there this year. So.
Oh yeah, aren't they doing something for Arrow? Are they doing something for Arrow too, or
probably on Saturday night. Oh, they're going to be doing a little. They're going to touch a little bit on the crossover, but they're not really like focused on Comic-Con this year. DC as a whole, so.
Yeah, but I guarantee you, Marvel's probably going to be dropping a lot of stuff at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's going to be. You know what? They tried to do that thing where they were pulling away to try to get everyone to whatever it is, D23 or something.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "No, we're not going to that."
I just mean, they already said. I mean, they're kind of almost said they are filming Black Widow already.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the only one that's actually supposed to be filming because we've had leaked photos or whatever of it. So I mean,
yeah.
And Guardians of the Galaxy 3 will be coming with Beta Ray Bill and Quasar
at some point in time. I mean,
yes.
That's one of those weird things that James Gunn's locked.
What makes you think we're going to get Beta Ray Bill and Quasar?
Because they said
there were rumors on the internet, my friend.
He's got hope. Don't take it away from him.
Because they said Beta
Him
Ray
and the
Bill.
Quantum Zone boys need that. Don't take that away from them.
Because they got to start laying more foundation for new people to replace other people.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I only care about the Fantastic Four and X-Men, and Black Panther. So
oh my lord! Someone is really watching Far From Home because in that one end credit, when he gets outed in that end credit scene when they swing down to the street. Like someone said, there was some kind of construction site, and like the banner in front of it said 1, 2, 3, whatever. Where the 4 was supposed to be, there was a big question mark.
Yeah, I think that's just like for Phase 4, though. We'd love to see. Yeah, I think it's just for Phase.
Okay, because I think this was the end of Phase 4, but everyone's like, "Oh, was that supposed to be the Baxter Building or 4 Freedoms Plaza?"
I think that might be Oscorp, honestly, because we need another tech kind of place since we're not in the dark industries.
Was Avengers Towers featured in that swinging scene? My kids kept on sitting out for popcorn, so I couldn't re-verify it.
Maybe. I don't know. I just saw it once.
But Avengers Tower is shut down, though.
Well, no, but the tower is still there.
Yeah.
The tower
taking the A off of it, but the tower is still there. That was the question.
Slap a 4 on it. Yeah, I know.
Well, or an O for Osborn.
See, or whatever happened to good old Justin Hammer?
He's in jail.
Still doing time.
Yeah, although he may be out. But Hammer, that's the thing. Justin Hammer isn't Hammer Industries. Hammer Industries is a corporation. It exists whether Justin Hammer's in jail or out.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Because we get Hammer Tech mentioned in Luke Cage.
Exactly. So. Hammer is still an active going concern. So them buying Stark Tower is not that unlikely. Especially since Stark is sitting on all of his best inventions, not to give them to the public and make $1 trillion.
Hey,
because
if you want to talk about ongoing concern, what about the leader? You know, he's somewhere out there.
He is still out there, yes. He is canon. But because the Abomination is canon.
So let's go back to talking about the actual Spider-Man movie that we're actually.
What you guys think of Pete and MJ?
I love that better in this movie than the last one.
That's my exact saying. That's what I told Jania after we saw it. I said I liked her better in this movie than I did the last one. I still hate that they're going to call her MJ. Like, they're trying to create a new character and then backwards make her another character. Not cool with that.
Yeah, I'll be right back. Everyone, keep going.
Yeah, no, I'm totally cool with Zendaya MJ. First off, it's like, okay, it's a teenager. Her name's
Michelle.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Here's the thing.
Her name's
they're
Michelle.
running teenagers. You know, here's the thing. If you did MJ as a high school student, the way they did her in the original comics, it is such a kind of weird bombshell kind of character that you're going to be uncomfortable by it. I'm just going to say that right now. Like, if you had...
I agree. Because my friend and I had a conversation yesterday about if you did Mary Jane Watson, I'm going to use a lot of real names here because I hate abbreviations right now. But if you did Mary Jane Watson, she would exactly be that kind of bombshell, knockout character that's almost like would catch Peter and everyone off guard. Like, she needs to, like, wow everybody. And that kind of character can be difficult. Now, this MJ Michelle hybrid we got, and I'm saying MJ, like, I'm not going to use that term because I'm going to discern these two characters here. Like I said, Michelle is a new construct of a character.
Yes, she is. And I guess for me, because that's the thing. It's like, here's what I'm going to say. What did a teenage boy in 1965 find a bombshell? And what would a teenage boy
but then
in 2018 find a bombshell? And the fact of the matter is, the moody goth girl is kind of the bombshell for the Peter Parker character in this game.
That's what you're going to do. Make her Mary Jane and just change the character. Don't make her a new character, then give her the initial name change to be another character.
But then so to make it to this is what Netflix does, okay? They change it just a little bit so that first off, you still have that character in your back pocket if you want her.
Correct.
And B, you don't get all of the people saying, "Oh, they're doing this and that and the other, changing up my characters." No one mentions Corks Blue, but that's okay. We're not going to look at that because obviously that was important.
Exactly.
But they could have done Felicia Hardy. They could have gave us more. They could have gave us a little flirtation with Betty. But we didn't have to have this whole MJS kind of thing.
Right.
He's still in high school. He should have time to explore and have fun.
Right. Exactly. She could have just been Michelle. Something new. Something original that they bring to this universe. And she just stayed Michelle.
But no, now she's...
But now... Peter's true love is MJ. Why isn't he with MJ? Yada,
like
yada,
I said, he's a teenager. He shouldn't have his first love right now. It's so annoying.
Okay.
All right. That is exactly what Peter Parker does.
Okay, but it's not. Only that it's not.
We're going to jump ship real quick. We're going to jump it, okay?
He has two loves.
We're going to jump to Arrow.
No one even mentions Betty Grant anymore.
I'm bringing her back.
She was there, but she's not with Peter.
Yeah, but Peter actually did go on a couple dates with Betty.
But think about this, Charlie. Think about this. Okay, we're going to jump. Arrow. Okay, Green Arrow. Everyone, you say Green Arrow. You think Black Canary.
Why is Tyler trying to hurt me, Philip?
Because we all hate this. We all hate this. Okay? Both versions of live action Green Arrow, he never ended up with who he was supposed to in the comics. First they gave him Chloe.
Hacker girl.
And then they gave him Felicity. Okay? That ain't in the comics. So just like you're trying to say, well, if Peter's with this person, why is he not with MJ? You know why? Because writers suck. And sometimes they want to change stuff. Okay? That's all I'm saying.
So, but if the answer is they're going to be mad regardless,
Exactly. So why not just let it be a new character that we can list? If I don't like this new character,
because they don't want to make it a new character because they do want him with MJ. They just want it with their MJ.
I am a big fan of the Spider-Man marriage. I have no problem with her being Mary Jane.
I'm not saying that it had to happen right now.
I was going to say that's my only problem. I thought she did a lot better this movie, but I think they pulled the trigger too early on that character. That's the only problem I have.
She's not Mary Jane. That's what I'm trying to discern. She's not Mary Jane. She is a character named Michelle that now takes the nickname of MJ. So they're playing it safe by not having to call her Mary Jane and make her Mary Jane, but she can still be MJ.
Yeah, but can they go full Mary Jane even? Is there a thing with Sony where they're just like
no, there's no thing with anything.
Well, no,
I
just mean, did Disney maybe do this to their like, oh no, so Disney can claim this is an original character. This is our character.
That's true. Because if they create an original character, they don't have to pay maybe royalties or whatever. All I'm saying is, by just nicknaming her MJ,
I feel like it is a cheap shortcut. That's all.
I get the feeling the writers of these films really like making trolls mad and nerds mad. Where they're going to do stuff that's literally taunting them just to get them mad. It's like the Benjamin Parker thing. It's like, oh, how can you not tell us the Benjamin Parker story anymore? It's like, well, if you're mad enough about the Benjamin Parker story,
go outside and jump.
Obviously, you know that story. So why are you getting mad when you didn't tell it explicitly since you already know it?
Where's your cross?
You know, it's the thing. It's like, you know who MJ is. You can either embrace this MJ or reject this MJ. We're not putting that on you. But if you're going to be mad about it, it's all on you, Buttercup.
Yeah, it's still a cheat of just taking a character that you love and then trying to twist it and make it something new.
Subverting expectations.
Yeah, but you can also turn that around.
That's what they're doing. That's how you sell a story. You subvert
and it's like the only thing linking her to Mary Jane is the MJ thing. I mean, they could always bring Mary Jane later. It's just,
and that's what we said was she's Mary Jane or she's MJ. She's not Mary Jane. There's a difference. That's what I'm saying. Like she's Michelle.
I mean,
call her MJ.
Yeah,
there's a Mary Jane out there somewhere.
I'm almost mad that they didn't call her Mary Jane because it seems like they're like, oh, are they playing it safe by calling her Michelle? It's like, no, you want her to be Mary Jane. Call her Mary Jane.
Thank you, Phil. Prove my point. Just make her a character and stop trying to make up a new character that's actually something else.
Or make it like
new characters. All I ever hear from people is, "Whoa, don't change my character. Just come up with a new character." Fine, we did. Why are you mad?
Because you did come up with a new character, but then you cheap shot at it and said, "Oh, call me MJ."
You basically there can't be two MJs in the universe.
The answer is no, Charlie. Come on. How long have you been on the internet?
Have you read a comment, Charlie?
I honestly believe the writers are sitting there saying, "How can we really make these trolls mad? How can we really make them so upset about the fact that? How can we turn their entire argument?"
I mean, I didn't pay to see it, so I don't really care one way or another. I don't pay to see MCU movies, so I don't get mad about anything. I just find it interesting, shall we say, the things that they do.
Here's what I'm going to say: Michelle MJ is the equal and opposite blue Korg. It is a blue Korg just to see if you're going to get mad because something, or to see if you're not going to get mad because it doesn't affect your view of the comics world. You know? Here's the thing: Dr. David Banner never had a Betty Rock. Still a good series, still a good story, still everything great, and yet, if you had a black lady named Betty Ross, people would get mad. You know, I'm just saying.
Is this a Nike reference?
I'm just saying there's this effort to. I get the feeling that the people at Marvel are so sick of trolls that they are actively doing things to say, let's just make some little tweak and see if you really see how mad we can get this group of people that is a small group but very loud. See how loud we can get them to scream.
You know what gets me? Gwyneth Paltrow wasn't even a real redhead.
Yeah. Yeah,
There
you know what gets me is that we keep talking about everything but the movie. So
Okay.
I really
I mean,
like
it was a pretty straightforward movie, and honestly, it went by like pretty fast.
Oh.
I want to.
I felt like it wasn't that much to it, honestly.
I agree. I want to see it again because I feel like you're watching one movie, and then when Mysterio twists and you find out who he really is, then you're going into a secondary movie. That's when you have this nice twist. Because my friend said, he's like, man, the first act, I was like, okay, I'm okay with this, but I'm not really digging it. But he's like, but then when Mysterio actually reveals himself, he's like, I loved it when we got into the illusions. So I'd really like to watch it again.
I mean, it's a superhero mix with, the teen summer, I like this girl, how am I going to tell her? And,
It's a teen movie with superheroes.
it's not
Just like
a movie.
Just like Homecoming tried to be like a John Hughes-ass movie. Once again, Marvel is trying to use a subgenre in their movies. Just like
It's
Captain
kind of
America
like
Winter
the thing
Soldier.
now.
Yeah. Winter
Yeah.
Soldier
Well, of course.
was
spy stuff.
spy thriller.
Yeah.
in the superhero, which is fine. That's perfect because that's what you need to do.
That's how
To
people
freshen
go
up.
forward. You make it a different genre every time, yeah.
And not for
Exactly.
nothing, that's exactly what Spider-Man always was in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And it still is. It's still a romance comic with fun scenes.
I just,
Yeah.
I said this to my friend the other day. I was like, I find it funny that when I was in high school, the Spider-Man I get is an adult.
Yeah.
Coming out of high school into right out of the gate into college, and it's an adult. And I'm like, okay. Then I'm in college, I'm an adult, and the Spider-Man I get is, hey, I'm in high school, but really I'm jumping to out of high school. But I shouldn't be in high school and then now I am a older adult, and the Spider-Man I get is finally where it should be as a teenager, and I'm like, man, I'm an adult.
Well, I get it this time because they're going to milk that. They're going to milk Tom Holland Spider-Man for as long as they can.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, we got him young. We got him to didn't they say almost like he's under a 9-picture deal total now, or like they are changing it or renegotiating? I don't know, but it's going to be very interesting to see because they can do a lot with that character.
Or the Spider-Man curse could hit. Who knows?
No,
Who knows? Anything could happen.
I mean, he's right now he's at 2 solo films, so he's tied with Garfield, but he's been in more films as Spider-Man than any of them, with 5. In 3 years, he'd been in 5 movies as Spider-Man, so he's on a good trek.
Wrap it up, Philip. Is that what you're trying to say? Gelvin has struck again, people.
No, I'm on my phone. I'm trying to look up the box office.
It was at 158 million, I want to say. Was that? Yes, that's what I saw. I want to say it was something like that.
It's number one. At the box
Maybe
office.
it's either 150 or maybe 185. I don't know. I might have flipped numbers. I do that sometimes.
And it's been out since Tuesday, so it should be pretty.
That's when Solomon and I went and saw it. He was so pumped.
Yeah, 185, I guess. Was
He
the
had
opening.
on all his Spider-Man gear, like socks, underwear, t-shirt, pants, shoes, Spider-Man costume, mask.
Globally, it's at 580 million right now.
Yep.
And it's been out for a week. Not even a week yet.
Well, yeah. Well, globally, it's saying 10 days, but it's
Yeah.
at 180 million.
What I'll say is Friday, I was in a packed theater for the matinee. Today, and it was the Dolby showing. It was literally the first showing at 9:30. It was kind of a sparse theater, but then again, it's 9:30 a.m.
On a Sunday.
Dolby, by
Oh,
in
fun
Elizabeth
fact!
Theater.
This is the first, I think, one of the first movies, Marvel movies specifically, that's built for the new IMAX 190 ratio.
Yeah, I read that too. I thought that was interesting.
I mean, they do that a lot with Spider-Man movies. I remember, I think it was either the first or the second Spider-Man was the first one that you do the red cameras or whatever.
I want to say it was the second one.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, you knew this movie was going to do good. I mean, one, it's Spider-Man. I mean, he's just as recognizable. He's the one of the big three, the most recognizable: Superman, Batman, Spider-Man. And 2, this is the first MCU movie post Endgame. Everyone,
And it connects to Endgame, so it's not like a stark, pun intended, different. It's not like all of a sudden it's
totally different.
somebody. like something completely off the wall. Marvel presents it's continuing that through line of Tony and everything with Peter. So it picks up, and it's the movie that carries us to the new era.
It's the bridge.
Yeah, it's okay. This has ended. We're
Well, I
saying
kind
goodbye.
of feel like they're
And
very
now we're
much
gonna-
in that episodic state now at Marvel Disney,
Which
which is that every movie
we've been
has
in
to
that.
have something else.
Yeah,
That's the whole point of the MCU.
but I
We've
mean,
been there.
yeah, but it also seems kind of weird too because they're not announcing any of their plans going forward yet. So it's like, okay, well,
Yeah, and
Not weird,
I
'cause
think
they know it's Phil.
oh yeah,
Well, it's weird because you don't know what's going on, but obviously whatever's in this likely has importance to it.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, honestly, I would not be surprised is if they've been filming a Marvel movie that we do not know about, and that maybe we'll get a trailer, or we'll just get the announcement, and then we'll get a trailer shortly later for something that comes out, because they're going to have something next year. They have to have something.
Yeah,
You know,
they're,
this-
have Black, they're probably going to have Guardians 3 too.
No, Guardians 3 is not happening for at least 2 more years.
Well, yeah, Guns. Guns.
That's-
Suicide Squad.
Yeah, but I'll say Guns all
Or
tied
he
up now with
doesn't.
both studios. I mean, but yeah, as of
Supposedly
right
he
now,
still
though,
is. I mean, Lilith. I mean, nothing else. It's 2 paychecks.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he's tied up right now with something. So, I mean, that's not going to happen immediately. But what I'm saying is, like, my thought process is they were like, we want to live in the Endgame. We had Endgame. This is our epilogue film to Endgame. With this film, we've completely closed out this chapter.
Yeah.
The Infinity Stones, Thanos. We are closing that. And now whatever's next is going to help continue to something else.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, supposedly they're filming Black Widow already. Black Panther 2 is coming somewhere, so.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
we know that we're going to get a Black Panther 2, a Captain Marvel 2, and a Guardians 3.
Yeah.
Those-
Guardians 3 and Thor 4. There's a lot of talk about Thor 4 right now. And
Yeah.
They're not going to
and
Guardians.
Strange.
Doctor Strange, yeah, I think they says that might be like, did they say 2021 or something? But yeah, I mean, Doctor Strange.
That's the one that I could almost see them dropping, like at Comic-Con. Like, Doctor Strange comes out February 2020. And here's a trailer.
Here's the thing I would say. People
Because-
give Gwyneth Paltrow all kinds of flack for saying she didn't know she was in Homecoming, and she didn't know she'd met Sebastian Stan, yada, yada, yada. I actually
Marvel-
get the feeling that
It's all the goop.
they're actually shooting these films constantly.
Yes.
And it's
That's
just
what I'm
very conscious. It's just, no. Take the costume, go in, do the scene, okay, go out. And they're just running these things as almost an assembly line. Assembly line whimsy as
Oh yeah, I mean, she was in 5 minutes of Homecoming. They might just say, "Oh,
I mean,
she's
yeah.
in 5 minute scene and tell her where." Yeah,
I mean,
Exactly.
for all we know, she thought it might have been something for Infinity War. You know what I'm saying? Like,
all the
they're,
time.
yeah. I
they're
mean,
slick. They know what they're
Tony
doing.
Stark and Peter Parker could have been in a Infinity War.
Exactly. They're slick. They know what they're doing. They keep everything hush hush. Like, you know what I'm saying? Think about some comic book films that we see. When it starts filming, there's always all this like behind the scenes. That's what Warner was, in DC films were littered with behind the scenes talk and all this pictures, leaked pictures. But Marvel is very controlling over everything. They do a lot. I mean, we all know how they alter their trailers so that we don't know what's actually going on to change things, to change our perspective. So, I mean, we know that they know what they're doing. So it would not be far out of the realm of reality that they've already filmed the movie. Because, I mean, we know that they filmed Captain Marvel after Endgame.
Hey guys, can we talk about my new favorite superhero?
If it's not me, I don't know what it is.
Night
Who is that?
Oh,
Night
I
Monkey?
like to
Night Monkey.
Monkey
God.
throwing his crime and all over Europe.
I would watch a Night Monkey movie. Just,
I love that.
That's the new web series, I guarantee you.
I'm going to tell you something. Here's my big prediction for Spider-Man Senior Year.
No,
It's got home in it.
Charlie.
Home.
Yes.
Spider-Man
That's
leaving home.
That's what I said. I said, okay, so we have Homecoming, Far From Home, then Hometown Hero,
Leaving home.
My big prediction is
Home Run.
because I assume the next one is them going to college.
It would make sense to be if the next one was like Spider-Man's senior year. Like it would make sense to kind of let's close out that chapter of.
But whatever it is, my big prediction is Flash Thompson's going to West Point.
I see you, Daddy.
Oh, we got it.
We see that we got Peter knocks out Flash Thompson. The very classic scene, that's supposed to change their dynamic. Now, we didn't get much of that, but then next we're going to see Peter's identity has been revealed. And we know how much of a fan of...
Oh, Flash, yeah.
Yeah, that Flash is. So I think we're going to get the Flash who's like, no, Peter, look, yeah, I'm a jerk. I'm a douche. I'm the worst person in the world. But you're a good man. I want to be like you.
Give me the exclusive.
Well, no, but I want to be a hero. That's the thing. It's like when he's doing his flash mobs. It's like as he said, when he's in the tower, when he's in the Crown Jewel vault. I post these things just because I want someone to notice me.
And then we saw how he reacted when he's like, Spider-Man follows me? And then we saw like, his parents haven't responded to him. He asked the driver, his mother couldn't make it.
Yeah.
Like we see little glimpses of Flash is life, his experiences.
Maybe.
And what I can say is they're not going to his parents aren't going to let him go just join the army. But I can certainly see them having him go to West Point.
There's no Osborn. Flash's dad is Green Goblin.
It's going to be like in the Garfield movies. He's a long lost friend that just shows up for the summer.
No, but I would love. And here's what I'm going to tell you. That's where they're going to tie in Venom to the MCU.
Agent.
I would like if they wanted to do Harry Osborn, they do him in the third movie and make him his new friend at college.
I mean, that's a good idea.
Comics. I mean, he didn't meet him till like college in the comics. That makes sense.
Well, I mean, like let's not try to force in this past relationship, best friend thing that they awkwardly did in Amazing Spider-Man, which was horrible. But let's organically build a new friend. Like Peter. You can start with this friendship of him and Harry get along. Him and Harry this. Him and Ned are starting to grow apart because Ned's going down a different path in life. Kind of use that as this chapter changing, like we all experience in real life when, we have our best friends in high school, maybe some we still keep in touch with. We go on to college or work, whatever, we meet new friends and there changes. Let that kind of be something in Peter's life where him, it's like kind of saying goodbye to Ned and bringing in this new best friend.
And Michelle.
Don't start. No, but I mean, speaking of friends, I heard a little telephone in my head. There was a touching scene on the plane, when Happy's talking to Peter and saying, Peter's having doubts. And he's like, I was Tony's best friend. I just heard Lilith's voice in my head. Reddy would like to have a word with you, sir.
Exactly.
Oh, no, he said, Tony Stark was my best friend.
Oh,
he never said he was Tony's best friend.
Okay.
There is a difference. As sad as that may be.
He gets away with it. Okay.
As sad as it might be, he says Tony was his best friend.
Okay.
He has no grand illusions about the man.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, Tony might say that Rhodey's his best friend and Happy's his good friend. Or whatever. But we
just to help Happy. I'm sorry to break it to you, buddy.
But we genuinely know that Happy loves Tony and his family, and that was kind of the thing with Happy basically saying, "I'll look after you," to Tony's daughter in Endgame.
I mean, to go all Iron Man 1, I mean, I think Maxim Magazine was Tony Stark's best friend because he went 12 for 12 on cover models that year.
Yes,
Barney Stinson.
Remember, Lucky December was.
Yes,
okay.
Literally, he is. Remember when that film came out?
He's Sheldon and Barney combined.
Oh, can I just say the funniest part about rewatching the first Iron Man was when he's like, "This better not go up on your MySpace page." Like,
I know.
No gang signs.
Like, how much did I rewatched? I watched them in weird orders. I watched them in trilogy packages. Like I watched just all three Iron Man, then all three Captain, and like Thor, and building up to Endgame, just to have discussions like, do what movies work on their own, kind of thing. But yeah, it was just such a stark moment of MySpace, and you're like, dang, dude, Like,
And you know, in the future, people are going to think that's like that made up website that they put in there.
Well, MySpace is still around, only that it's the real one is hacked, and then there's like a clone one that's not. It's like a whole thing. It still exists though.
it does, but nobody puts stuff up on their MySpace. Now you see more like bands and stuff. Like, go to our MySpace because
all I know is they told me I had to get all my stuff off of there. They kicked me out, so I went and downloaded my code, which was fun because I went and got my old pictures before they shut it all down. It was lovely.
I don't even know if I actually closed mine or just let it go.
It's like watching Supernatural. You see the flip phones and they mention MySpace, and they're like you see Facebook become a thing. You see iPhones become a thing. Like, God.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Like you said, but that's 15 years, and you think about where the show started, like where it is now, and you're just like all the stuff that's come and gone, like in that time, and you're just like, holy crap.
I haven't watched it in years, but just imagine watching the first episode and the current episode of The Simpsons.
Oh my God. That I mean,
we'll be able to soon on Hulu, thanks to our Disney, our most overlords. You don't have to buy those expensive DVDs and Blu-rays anymore.
Yeah. You just buy that monthly subscription to Disney Plus.
I'm telling you, that thing's forever. I told you, I think Bart Simpson and I were the same age when that started.
I mean, and yeah, exactly. That's another thing is like just, you think about where you were when that show started, and where you are now. I mean, even with the MCU, I think when I
was living in Kentucky in Iron Man 1. Holy crap.
I was.
Oh, wow. You could have been the person that you could have been at Tony Stark's funeral if he had crashed landed on your house.
I did. That was Tennessee.
Dang it. I was just
Same difference.
I didn't meet Jania until October of 2008. So the only two MCU movies that I didn't experience with her was the Hulk and Iron Man. After that, like we've experienced everything of the MCU together, and that's like stuff you don't think about. So you like stop and like, wow,
Oh
like
yeah,
it was how my kid loves Spider-Man. He loves Captain America and stuff, and I'm like, wow, he wasn't even born when the first ones came out.
Oh no, I mean the first Iron Man came out like 2 or 3 weeks before me and Danielle moved in together, and I was like, hey, here, gonna watch this little Iron Man movie. Now she wants to go to every movie.
Yeah, well,
did she like Far From Home? How did she feel?
Yeah, I think she liked it. I mean, especially Spider-Man's not one of her favorite characters, but yeah, she liked it. I think the acting of Tom Holland, impressed her more than the actual character of Spider-Man.
I'm just gonna start a new hashtag: Tom Holland for James Bond. Let's get it going.
Everybody wants to reboot their franchise to babies and teens. Why not?
Exactly. Let's just make Tom Holland the new James Bond.
I don't think you can do James Bond babies, though.
Why?
James Bond Jr., who's a 90s kid.
Lilith.
Technically, it was his uncle, but whatever.
James Bond Jr. chases around the world.
Because it's like, you don't name the child after your brother and call him James Bond. It is wrong unless your brother provided something into the mix. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
We never really got the full backstory.
All right.
So
Okay, so here's my question. Again, I mean, I saw the trailer for the 20th time. Why is Idris Elba not the new James Bond? Why is he in?
Know why?
Why
is
he in Fast and Furious 37 or whatever? And
okay, here's why. Phil,
about the Fast and Furious franchise.
Phil, here you go. Okay, it's called a paycheck.
Yeah.
That you can get this massive paycheck and royalties and all this fun stuff that comes with being this franchise and having a name. Then you can go on and lobby your other stuff. And I think the main reason that he's not the James Bond is because Daniel Craig said, "Oh, I'll come back and do another one."
And who was clamoring for that? Bring back Pierce Brosnan, damn it!
Oh man, Pierce Brosnan can get it.
That's my James Bond. That's the James Bond I grew up with.
Here, Lilith. Here.
You can keep your Daltons and your Connerys, damn it.
Whoa. All right. Is there anything else about this Spider-Man movie we didn't talk about?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I love
the Easter eggs were so cool. They were very subtle. I like that.
I like the
Crusher Hogan win $100. Did you see that?
No, I missed that.
I like the teachers talking about witches
when they're at the homeless shelter.
Yeah.
There's a placard up in the back, and I just saw it today. It's like, oh.
And like I said, there was
Crusher Hogan.
Yeah.
$100 with to stay in the ring.
Like I said, there was that news report about Morris Bench, because we're also thinking Water Island, Hydro Man.
So those are my.
DaisyBugle.net.
Okay, hey, hold on. I want to ask something because I'm not as well versed in Spider-Man as me, but the guy that the agent, quote unquote, of S.H.I.E.L.D. they picked to drive the bus.
Dimitri, yes.
Isn't that the same name as Chameleon?
Yes, that's why I was like, is Fury going to be the Chameleon?
Okay, so I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember for sure.
His first name is Dimitri, yeah.
Yes,
well, who did you know his first name was Dimitri? I mean,
yeah, I know.
Is that canon? Someone says could be Dimitri. Yes.
As far as
although I actually was thinking that Dimitri could be a Skrull.
Exactly.
Either,
or
yeah.
do they create some sort of technology from the Skrulls that allows shapeshifting?
Well, actually, because here's the thing: that team we see 3 people on that team.
Dimitri.
There's a 4th person we see, the blonde lady, but for all we know, that's Talos' wife.
For all we know, that's secretly Emma Frost, but she was clothed too much.
I'm sorry, what?
So for all we know, that could have been Emma Frost, but she had on too many clothes for all that.
Oh!
Well, Emma Frost wasn't... we don't have the rights to her yet. And they're certainly not going to let Sony touch any mutants. That much I can guarantee.
Touch it?
But, no. So, really, it could be a team of 3 people.
Were they all Skrulls or just those 2?
I think they were all 3 Skrulls. Because when you go to that base that Fury's on vacation in Tahiti, it's all Skrulls.
Oh, yeah, and you were saying about Tahiti. Remember, the Skrulls have that brain probe thing. Remember Captain Marvel movie?
Oh, hey, wasn't Tahiti? It wasn't Tahiti supposed.
Oh, well, everyone has that.
I know.
That's an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. 5 years early now.
But
so
wasn't Tahiti where Coulson was supposedly went, and that's where he was healed?
Yes, that's the point.
Yeah.
It wasn't true.
That's the point, Tyler.
But, yeah. Tahiti.
Yeah, so there is the possibility that the Skrulls and the Kree are both secretly invading Earth.
Because Earth's a magical place.
The Skrulls are utilizing Nick Fury for this. Which, again, is another reason not to bring in Captain Marvel. Because the Skrulls...
Solo.
Very happy that Captain Marvel saved them from the Kree, but quite frankly, they got their own agendas. They got their own things to do.
Could be cool.
Big
like it.
Charlie, big if true.
Bigly. Well... Get your mother Skrulls off my mother planet.
I
need that to happen.
We have to see what Avengers 5 looks like.
No,
Lil?
The new Avengers 5.
They're going to start renumbering it at some point, like the comic books, right?
Well, technically, they've never.
Avengers 5, it's going to be Hawkeye, Black Widow.
Technically, they never put a number on it.
Captain America.
They never
numbered
Hawkeye.
That's all I care about.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be. Hawkeye, Hawkeye and Black Widow. Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
Hey, they never numbered them.
Captain and Spider-Man.
They never numbered them. That was their loophole. You know, it's Avengers, and in foreign countries, it's Avengers Assemble. It's Age of Ultron, Infinity War, Endgame. They've never numbered them, so they don't have to worry about renumbering. They just keep going and give them new subtitles.
And they all just show up in all their movies anyway, like Civil War.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there will be an
Captain America never really got his own movie.
Because they got to get the band back together. Because you can see right now we're in that state where we have to get the band back together.
Let's just make a new band. Let's make a Mission Man band, if you will.
And that's the thing is they have to restructure, reorganize, and create basically the new Avengers. Like who's the new core team? You know who's going to do this or what? Because the core team
West Coast Avengers calling. Somebody get Kelly Thompson on the phone for the screenplay. Introduce Gwenpool, maybe?
Big screen cinematic version of Gwenpool.
No, they'll say that for Deadpool.
No, that's not how that works.
That's not how any of this works. But how morbid was Tony Stark naming that AI? Even in death, I'm the hero.
Yeah.
It just seems like his humor. Like I feel like Tony is a person that, when faced with serious,
it's like did he name it that from day one, or was he like, okay, upon my death, get these glasses to Peter Parker, and you AI change your name to?
Well, yeah.
I wonder. I've thought about that. I wonder if he reprogrammed the glasses or whatever while they were on the ship heading towards Thanos, because Tony, that's part of the whole Iron Man 3 story, like his fear, his PTSD about that, and knowing that he's going after the person responsible.
Yeah,
he was preparing himself in case he died.
Actually, me and Tris had a whole conversation about this because I had pointed out, he didn't know he was going to die. He didn't know Peter Parker was back. How did he update his will? And then it struck me, he made the message to Morgan just before it. And it struck me that he probably said, you know what, let me get all my affairs in order. And he probably said, you know what, let me do something, because if this works, Peter will be back. Because that's the whole reason I'm doing this, just to bring Peter back.
I mean, I think Tony is a man of contingency plans.
Oh, yeah, true. Because he could have programmed it for Peter and Morgan. So it's like, hey, if everyone comes back, those glasses go to Peter. If I don't make it, if we fail,
I don't think giving those to a 5-year-old child would be a good idea.
Oh no, I'm not saying you give them
But
the child.
Tony is having a bad life decision.
Yeah, but again, you can give them the pepper and say, "Here, give these to her on her 18th birthday."
Well, yes, like he said.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't know if Pepper. I don't know. Pepper just always seemed like she didn't want it.
Well,
Yeah,
Gwyneth Paltrow didn't want it either, but if you're going to put logic on this,
at least Peter's already a hero in the world.
Well, yes, that's why Peter is his default.
Yeah.
Unless Fury actually did get these, and he just created the whole thing to give them to Peter, because he's just that third level.
Or if Peter didn't come back, if he was just like, he left it in his will, happier Pepper. It's like, find somebody worthy and give them this,
or give him to Steve.
He wouldn't give him.
Steve would have been the logical second choice.
That's what he would have done.
Steve wouldn't have turned them on. Probably like, give him the Shuri.
No, Steve would have been like, Edith, destroy yourself, just like he did in Civil War when they talked about the technology of being able to identify targets.
Wait, is Steve Rogers the original Jon Snow of I don't want it?
No. No, because he was a little bit better. Jon Snow just sucked. But let's not go down that rabbit hole. Lilith, we can talk about that later.
No, I give this movie a solid B+ though.
Yeah.
It wasn't as good as Homecoming. Like, I was so smitten with Homecoming, and I was like, oh, maybe they'll top themselves. But for me, it was all these little things. It was like, they had to wrap all that other in-game crap up. So
I'm gonna say A-. But my problem is I feel like I can't really rate a film like this until I've seen it at least twice, and I've only had the one chance.
All right, well, that's a good opening. Charlie Esser, who's seen it twice.
This is a solid A. I actually am inclined to say A+. Only, and I'm going to give the same thing where I'm not going to give it an A+. That's how I did, which is that the second time I saw it, the kids kept on sending me out for popcorn. I got to it late. Kids saw the whole thing, but I kind of missed a couple points. But so like, there's a couple things that I couldn't verify for myself, but I did catch some other things. I mean, it is a really high A for me. This is definitely a 4.0 film. I really felt that basically it set up everything after Endgame to go into the next phase and said, here you go. We're ready.
Yes. Sorry to leave you flapping.
All you haters and doubters, this is where we're going next.
Sorry to leave you flapping in the breeze alone, but yeah, I think I got to give this movie an A.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't care. I feel how I feel, and I stand in my truth. I don't care.
I know. That's fun.
I really liked this movie, and I really enjoyed it, and I walked out. I was happy. Solomon had a great time. But, for me to...
It didn't drag. It had a story.
Yeah, it didn't drag. It was fun. It was upbeat. And sometimes, I think if you're going to have fun with a character, Spider-Man's, the perfect comic character to have fun with. Yeah. You can have seriousness, but he's also a very fun person.
They changed Mysterio a little bit, but I bought it. I like what they did. It
still works.
Yeah.
I feel like it still was true enough to the actual character, that it worked. And they kind of they made him a team, and I feel like by doing the characters like a multiple team type thing, this one made more sense than say when they try to screw us over with the Mandarin. But
what I can say is this is something I was talking to Tristan and John about on the ride home. It's like, look, when these stories were written, circuses were a thing.
Yeah.
So you could have a character whose backstory he was in the circus. And, like, kids today have never been to a circus. They don't know what a circus is. Maybe they know it's that weird sex French circus they do in Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
That, that's
Olé.
not for kids. But when you ask, who would Quentin Beck be today? The idea is, it'd be a holographics engineer working for Tony Stark. Mm. That makes absolute perfect sense. And then they kept it with the same basic motivation: is no one respects what we do. They just want someone with a cape and laser beams.
But I told you before any of us even saw that movie, I said it's going to be Mysterio, Master of Illusion, and he summed it up perfectly. People will believe anything in a post-snap world, or a post-blip world, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I hate that they call it the blip, too. It's just like, come on.
Well, I mean, I understand where it kind of would originate from, like someone just start trending, like, we blipped, we disappeared, because not everyone realized it was a snap that actually did it.
Yeah.
But I still think it's kind of like
a blip because also everyone came back.
Yeah, it's a blip on the radar.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, it was just a weird thing that happened, and they're calling it the blip, and that's just sort of, it was, because officially Marvel says it was the decimation. And what it is, they were calling it decimation.
The new guy, when they call him a blip, so I was just like, ugh.
Yeah, they were calling it the decimation in Endgame. But by now, we're calling it the blip because it wasn't a decimation. Everyone came back.
I just love the Aunt May story. She's like, yeah, when I came back into the apartment, the family who was living there now, the wife thought I was the mistress. The grandmother thought I was a ghost.
I actually love the teacher's thing. Like, my wife actually didn't get snapped. She just ran off with her. That was just like perfect because anyone that watched Law and Order, and when they deal with like great tragedies, they always have someone trying to scam it.
Yeah,
there were so many scams after
for 9/11 because that was like a big story. 9/11. She actually came back like 6 months later or whatever.
Yeah, because it was a free pass. You could walk away, and everyone just assumed that's what happened.
I wonder how many murders happened.
What, on 9/11?
No.
Oh, during
oh yeah. They just blipped away.
The wife just snapped. Don't know what happened to her. Or my husband just snapped. He snapped 5 times.
Seriously, I mean,
yeah.
Who could argue it? All right.
And half the police are gone, so who has time to investigate?
So, are we ever going to get another Stan Lee cameo or like anything? They filmed a bunch of them, so it's just
no. Actually, it turns out that was all a lie.
No.
Yes, the last one he filmed was Captain Marvel and Endgame.
Oh, that's
I'm surprised. I honestly don't think. I don't know why they just didn't have him like walk across a green screen.
Well, at the time, like towards Captain Marvel, he was in pretty bad shape.
Or just have him sit in front of a green screen and then just insert the same shot in every movie of like him just sitting like outside or sitting in the background somewhere. Like it's just the same kind of like a Where's Waldo? Like you're just
why can't we just get Stan Lee Easter eggs every movie now? Like a poster somewhere. Hey,
I think that's what we're gonna have to do at this point.
Oh,
well, I think they might do those. You know what it is like, and here's what it is right now it's a little raw.
Yeah.
And they're kind of in this spot where like, do we want to? So like Netflix never had Stan Lee. They just had a Stan Lee picture or poster everywhere.
Yeah.
Which was always lovely. After Stan Lee died, it becomes a much more complex question. How do we give honor to this guy who was the consummate huckster, who would love to have his face? The guy did a Teen Titans Go cameo. He just loves the cameos.
You'd think he would have put something like that in his will, like Robin Williams did, about how people couldn't use his likeness or his image or his name for profit for 5 years.
I honestly think that
unless he did that, maybe he said, you got to wait a certain amount of time.
Or he just wasn't in a position. Yeah. He wasn't in a position to do it, and he wasn't thinking of that.
Yeah.
here's the thing. I'm always of two minds with the Stan Lee story. Is I do feel that there were people taking advantage, but I also feel that he was a participant in that because I feel he was the kind of guy. I have to hustle.
Oh yeah.
He believed in what the elders of the universe theory that I just need that all-consuming passion. So long as I'm hustling, I'm still alive. I'll still continue to live.
And I mean, maybe he's just the greatest showman alive, but I believed he loved the product too.
Yeah.
Well, of course he did, and he loved the product. He loved the hustle. He loved keeping busy, which is what they say you should do. And for what it's worth, the guy lived to be 96, so or 98. God knows how old he was. If he's even still dead, I haven't seen a body yet. That's all I'm saying.
Conspiracy. He's on an island with Elvis and Tupac. It's fine.
He just, he met that lady with the Egyptian stuff that Bruce Willis did. And,
they froze him.
No, he took the drink and then you get to live forever.
Yeah.
But then you have to also be dead.
With the fizzy lifting drinks, where you fly to the top with Willy Wonka.
Didn't they?
Am I the only one who saw Death Becomes Her?
Probably.
It's been a long time. It's been a long.
I think I heard if you pay enough money, they'll shoot your ashes into space. They should do that with Stan Lee.
It's actually not that expensive.
Yeah.
Not that I looked into it or anything, so I'm aware.
Look, I don't want my ashes thrown into space. I just want to be put in a helicopter in a Superman costume and pushed out. And just recreate the ending of Superman Returns where I'm just falling to Earth. That's how I want my body to be.
I believe there's laws against that, Philip. Tyler, unless you're in international waters. If you're in international waters,
where.
It's the land that law forgot.
I didn't say where, Charlie. I just said that's what I want to do.
Oh, hell yeah.
Fair enough.
Waters.
Tyler, fair.
All right. Are we done?
Yes.
Philip, the truth is we are never done because
I
we
know.
can just continually find something else to talk about.
I know.
Especially because I miss you guys and I don't get to talk enough. So when I'm here, I got to make sure my points are heard valid because I have 2 active children right now who are climbing on me still. So
those blonde children, even though you hyper dark-haired people, I don't know where they came from.
Have you ever seen Hotel Transylvania?
No.
Okay. Has anybody in this conversation seen it?
No.
I've actively avoided it.
Dang it, people. I can't make a joke now.
Oh.
So.
Well, some of our listeners may have.
Well, all I'm saying is sometimes, even though I have just 2 kids, I always feel like Wayne the werewolf, where his kids are just always climbing all over him and pulling on him and everything. Like, I just have 2, not a whole, horde of kids, but they're always on me and won't let me go.
I have good news for you, Taylor. In about, I don't know, how old are your kids?
4 and 2.
Okay. So in about, oh man, yeah, you're in the rough spot there.
Yep.
But
I'll be a
like
while.
8
cool.
and in about 8 years, they'll barely talk to you anymore, and they'll be off on their own things, and you won't have them climbing on you. You'll be lucky the 2-year-old will still hop into the back of your videos.
I'm cool. I'm living it right now. I'm not complaining.
No, enjoy it while it lasts.
It just takes time.
There are more frustrations coming.
They'll start putting up videos on YouTube under aliases and
yeah,
as they will, because that's the world they grew up in.
Yeah. Well, whatever comes after YouTube, probably Twitch. But yeah.
Who knows?
It'll be something completely new. They'll just jam a spike in their head and upload their thoughts.
Anyway, on that cheerful note, Tyler Patrick, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at my podcast, The Krypton Report, where I talk about all things Kryptonian, and at JTY Patrick on Twitter and Facebook. And you can find Krypton Report all over the internet, anywhere there's something to be part of. And just come find us, talk with us. We have a good time over there.
All right. And our other special guest, Mr. Charlie Esser, where can people find you?
Wow, if you'd like to send me their old past email where miles and pounds once did it, you can do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, at gmail.com. Of course, follow me on the Twitter since I live tweet Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and other shows like Cloak and Dagger or The Good Place or The Orville when they come back. At Charlie Esser, that's CharLie. Yeah. ESSER. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality.
All right. And you hear it here every week, but Miss Lilith Hellfire, where can people find you?
If you want to talk your love of clones and all things Spider-Man related, you can find me on Twitter at Lil Hellfire. And just for my sidekicks and Capes and Lunatics peeps, you can find me on the gram at Lil Hellfire 69.
Dong is a medical term. Fight me, nerds.
But
Not yet! But yeah, send us your thoughts on Spider-Man Far From Home or any other Spider-Man related topic, capesandlunatics at gmail.com. Follow Ultimate Spidercast on Facebook, on Twitter, at ULT Spidercast. Follow CL Sidekicks on Instagram. The voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And go check out capesandlunatics.org. Work in progress. Right now it's just a bunch of drones shooting out a hologram.
That's really what Phil's room is.
Anyway, thanks for joining us, everyone. If you're listening on the podcast, come back next week for another review of a classic Mysterio story. I think it's Spider-Man 90.
I'll take your word on that.
Since we had to pre-record, since Miss Hellfire's going to Comic-Con. All right, everyone. Swing on back next time.